Shalom, shalom, everyone. This is Yisrael with another edition of the Yehudah Project, School of Knowledge on the Sabbath Day. We'd like to welcome you all to be a part of our class. We've had some we're actually recording a class that's already been in progress. So, you may hear some topics come up, but we've already been talking about. But all praises to the Most High Yah, and we like to say welcome. I wanted to take some time today, and this is one of the times when you get your notebook out, and it's going to play right into what we were talking about earlier, because we got to understand exactly what's going on. And this is the reason why all these polls is coming out and people is agreeing that we the people and all that kind of stuff is because there's getting ready to be a shift. There's getting ready to be a shift. And it was in my spirit today to do this lesson. And all praises be to the Most High. Yeah. And it was something that one of the members of this group said a while ago that it kind of stuck with me. So I had to put it in a lesson so that we would understand some things. And this is very important. We're going to do this. Let me open this. I'm going to start my slideshow from here. And I want you guys to open up your screen so we can see the screen. And you let me know when you see it. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yep.
Saina, I can't see the screen.
Yes. I can.
You can't see?
I cannot.
When you come in, you have to use it. When you open up the screen, you have to come in under newcomers class. One word.
I did. If for some reason it's not opening for me.
Okay. Well, you know what? Somebody else said that too. I'm not sure what's going on, but maybe we can address it after class or something. We can maybe help. Maybe try a new browser. I don't know whether you're on Firefox or you're on Chrome or whatever, but try a new browser and come in and try it under there.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll try that.
Oh, no problem. Okay, this is called the fake, and the reason why I called this the fake is because this is the time, like I said, you call your family members and everybody because, now that this stuff is starting to happen, these polls are coming out, how many Israelites do you know and how many black people do you know that are anti-Semitic and all that, and, how many Hebrew Israelites do you have in your family? It's just amazing how this played right into what we're talking about, and how the GOCC had the video where the rabbi is saying that, we are the people of Israel, which they've always said, and all this stuff is happening. It's a reason why we need to know this information. And it's some simple stuff. It may not take a long time for us to go through this today, but it was just something that I was prompted to do to get this on tape. So I want you guys to open up your screen, and it's something that one of the ladies on here said to me, and I think her area code is 720, one day that kind of stuck with me. And it's called the family, the alternative. And I was laying in my bed this morning, and I was just thinking about the family. And I wanted to kind of go over some of the things. You may hear this again, but this is important. It says the definition of family. It is the traditional family structure, it says, in the United States. It's considered a family support system involving two married individuals, one man and one woman, providing care and stability for their biological offspring. That's what the definition of family is in Wikipedia. And then we have the family members. It said family traits are the ways in which family members are alike. You may have your hair color as your mother or your eye color as your father. That means that your hair and eye color are family traits. You will pass your family traits to your own children. That means they will be passed from generation to generation. And somebody said, well, why is this important? And we're going to get to that. And I got a couple more I want to go to before we start. Family traits are passed down from generation to generation within the family line. Check out the example of family traits to see what physical characteristics and learned behaviors your family passes on to you or you pass on. What is a family trait? There are many definitions of family, but only one for traits. A trait is a distinguishing quality or characteristic. When a trait is described as a family trait, it typically refers to characteristics that you inherit through genes from your blood relatives. Why is that important? Why is that important today with the Hebrew Israelites? It's because we're family. Now, something that she shared with me in class one day stuck. She said, Yaina, is like someone taking your family album and opening it up and giving a version of the story of the people in the album that's incorrect. That stuck. Because today, that is exactly what is happening. Anytime someone opens up that book that we have and begins to tell the story from a non-Hebrew Israelite perspective that are woke. It's impossible for you to do. You cannot do it. It's like me taking Sister Sanaya hands me an album of her family. And this album is about 3 to 5 inches thick. And on each page there is her grandmother, her grandfather, her aunts, her uncles, her cousins, her grandchildren, and it goes from generation to generation. Now, in this book, there are traits to identify what her family looks like. Now, when I open up this family album and I see these people, I don't know these people. But she does. I've never met these people in my whole life, but she does. She can tell me who they are. She can tell me where they're from. She can tell me who's connected to who and how everybody is connected to each other. She can tell me which one graduated and which one didn't. She can tell you how many were married and how many were single. She can tell you how many kids each one had and how many children they didn't have. And she can tell you how the generation connects from generation to generation. That's a family album.
Okay.
Any questions or comments so far? This is going to get interesting. It's a family album. And for so long, we have been handed a book and given the names of characters in the book, but the identity of the characters have been changed. For years and years and years, we've been all reading the same book, but the characteristics of the characters in the book have been changed. What? However, family traits can also be learned. These types of learned traits can occur in any family, blood-related or not. What? Genealogy. Genealogy is the study of family histories and the tracing of their lineage. Genealogists use oral interviews, historical records, genetic analysis, and other records to obtain information about a family and to determine kinship and pedigree of its members. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that picture relating to today as who we are as Hebrew Israelites? And what we just saw on the video from the people that we saw that were in Israel today. The man walked up to him and said, "Who is your mother and father?" Did he or did he not? Hello? He did. He said, "Who is your mother and father? Where are they from?" He said, "Oh, my family's from Morocco. Oh, my family is from Afghanistan. Oh, my family is from Iran, and I'm part Moroccan and part Afghanistan. Oh, my mother's from Poland. My father is from Czech Republic." All of these people are from different locations, but they all claim to have the same genealogy and pedigree. $1 million question. Have you ever had that conversation with anyone in terms of where you were from?
Not outside the borders of the United States.
All right.
Different
Not
states.
outside the borders of the United States of America, have you?
That's right.
Nobody has ever come up to you and said, "Well, where is your mother and father from?" Because right now, if they were to do that just to the average Joe, the average black person, they wouldn't be able to tell, "I don't know, they say we're from Africa."
You're right.
It's like something, there has been a dark cloud covering over this gigantic secret that nobody wants to get out. But the fact that the Most High is beginning to open up our eyes, that we're beginning to see, I just want to show you how intricately this black secret is trying to hold on to its substance in the midst of the light being shined on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Watch.
Well, that's also prophecy, that we will forget who we are as a people.
Exactly. That was one of the prophecies. Not only that we would forget who we were, but the world would forget who we were. He said, "I'm going to make you your remembrance. I'm going to make you cease from the remembrance of men." But he didn't say everybody, because somebody knew who we were all along. And guess what? And the world is waking up to who we are right now. I'm going to show you a picture. Here's a picture of a Bible, and there's a little black boy holding the Bible. He's reading it. Very profound. This is going to be real simple. We talk about this book right here is our family history. This book, this little book this boy is holding is our family history. It's really our album. It talks about everything that we talked about earlier. Who they are, who they married, how many children they had, what region of the world they were from, what color they were. It gets into it all. Now, he's reading the Bible. When you see him reading the Bible, what do you think? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
He hasn't a clue. He's not able to all to it. Not just reading words.
He's just reading words. He doesn't really know, right?
He's reading about somebody else.
He believes he's reading about somebody else because he got that Bible open. And how many of us read that Bible for many years and thought it was about somebody else?
Over and over.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah. Over and over. Now, watch. Hold on, let me move down. Now, he's reading the Bible. What's the first thought that comes to your mind?
The white guy?
He hasn't a clue.
He hasn't a clue. That's the same thing.
It's incredible the magnitude that people have gone through to keep this thing in the dark. And now the light is being shined on it. Mm. But when he reads it, guess what he thinks about? He thinks he's reading about his own people. Mm-hmm. You do. Mm-hmm. You know how I can prove that? Is because what we see. People learn by what they see.
Yeah.
When he reads it, because he's not of Negro descent, he believes he's reading about something that he can connect to.
Right.
He's reading something that everybody else has submitted themselves to.
Yes. Right, because the manipulation has been channeled to him by those in power who look like him.
Exactly.
Other thing is the depictions in the movies and stuff.
Right.
Oh, I'm on my way there, sis. You know I'm on my way there. I'm on my way. Right. Exactly. Exactly. So you got two different people holding the Bible, reading two different things, and the deception is there for both.
Okay.
This is how smooth it is. It's so smooth. This stuff is smooth. He believes that what he's reading about is applied to him, and this one right here that's reading it, going backwards, he believes that he's reading about somebody else, but that he's privileged to come in.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, the deception continues.
It's the most powerful and subtle, and guess who did it? The Most High did it all. He set this thing up. I mean, for real. That's how crucial y'all is. Y'all set this whole thing up so that we would be in a place where we would read it and not know who the people were in it, but felt like we was privileged to be in it because that's the story version that they gave us.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we switch over here and we go over here, and because he has privilege, he's reading it, believing that the people in it is talking about him, and that because he has the privilege of seeing what they want him to see and the images that they give him, that he has a right to it. Y'all don't want to mess with me today. I'm going to tell you how bad your Elohim is. I know you thought I was going somewhere else with this, but you got to understand just how crucial y'all is and how well put together this thing was. This thing was well put together. Now watch. Check this out. Watch. The differences. Oh, watch the differences. This is how subtle it was. It says, according to the book of Exodus, Moshe was born in a time when his people, the Israelites, an enslaved minority, was increasing in population, and as a result, the Egyptian Pharaoh worried that they might ally themselves with Egypt's enemies. Moshe's Hebrew mother, Yoshebed, secretly hid him when Pharaoh ordered all newborn Hebrew boys to be killed in order to reduce the population of the Israelites. Through the Pharaoh's daughter, identified as Queen Bithia in the Midrash, the child was adopted as a foundling from the Nile River and grew up with the Egyptian royal family. He grew up in royalty. Watch. The Egyptians. This is what they look like. This is what they look like. It's going to be real simple and subtle. This is what they look like. This is how the Most High can hide something in plain sight and you can't see it. It's right in front of your face. Watch. It says, Exodus chapter 2, this is the proof. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. So then that means if he became the son of Pharaoh's daughter, then he was Pharaoh's what?
Grandson.
It was his grandson. So if that's, now we done read this over and over. I'm talking about before we knew. And over and over and over again. Watch. So if he was Pharaoh's grandson, then he should have been that color.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on, somebody. I'm just trying to go plain and simple.
Right.
Sometimes it don't even take a rocket scientist to figure this stuff out. If he, according to Exodus chapter 2, if he was brought to Pharaoh's daughter and she took him as her son, he would have to be this color because she was this color.
Right. Yep, absolutely.
Is that right?
True.
That's
right.
True.
It's Exodus 2 and 10. Y'all make sure you write this down. Because some people will say, well, how do you know the Israelites is black? Let me show you. let me just show you.
Right.
1 plus 1 still equals 2 from where I'm from. I mean, it still do.
That's simple.
Yep.
And the child grew. This is Exodus 2 and 10.
Yep.
And she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son.
Yep.
Yep.
And she called his name Moses, and she said, because I drew him out of the water. Which one is real?
Neither one.
I just want somebody to tell me which one is real. But guess what? This is what we've been given for years and years and years and years and years.
Well,
and the mind control goes really deep because every book they showed us had their depiction. Every movie they showed us had their depiction. Everything we saw, even today when they show a prophet or something like that on TV, it's their depiction. So it's like a mind control thing where although we know the truth of what Egyptians look like, once we see the what we see on TV and what we see in the books and their depiction, somehow people disbelieve that part of it.
I know, but
like you said, we learn what from seeing what we see, and the mind is able to go on to process that as being real. Even though we had to prove that the Egyptians were black and are black, and that the Israelites had to have been black, because if Moses coming there to Pharaoh's table as this little blonde-haired, blue-eyed white child, he would have been eliminated quickly.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Well, even in the
movie, brainwashing. That's what it is, brainwashing.
Right. In the movie, Pharaoh was white.
Say that again. I didn't hear you, Sister Sanaya.
No, I said in the movie, even Pharaoh was white.
He was white.
Yeah. And don't forget, he spoke with a British accent.
If he was Egyptian, he couldn't have been white.
When he couldn't have been.
Nope.
There's no way he could have been.
No, he couldn't have been, because, even these people, they quick to say that black people from Hamites and that all the children of Ham are black. And if all the children of Ham are black, that would mean Mizraim was black, who is Egypt. That means them people should have been black. But when it comes to making those depictions and putting those stuff in movies, the white man, he a Gentile, he a Hebrew, he a Hamite, he everything. He the last samurai, so he a Japanese. He everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so good.
He's the Most High himself, the way he has it.
And now that we can see it, it's just as plain as day, ain't it?
Yeah.
But when the Most High want you to see it, you didn't see it.
Right. Although it was plain, it was in plain sight then, but it's like the veil was over our eyes or something.
It was a veil over, it was in plain sight. You could look at the pictures, you could read the scriptures, and then you could see what color the Egyptians was, but you just couldn't put the two together because he didn't want you to see it.
That's right.
That's how powerful he is. Oh, but guess what? We see it today, don't we?
They've even said with the Egyptians, when they show their color
as clearly black people. Well, that doesn't mean that. I've heard curators say that's just sometimes they depict it. That was an artistic style that was used.
Right. And guess what? Every hieroglyphics that I have seen, they was black folks.
Yeah.
Yep.
When they drew themselves on the wall and they painted themselves on the walls of them pyramids, them was black people.
I got one more comment. I tell you what, how about that 4,000-year-old Afro pig they found? I know they wasn't picking out their little straight hair with it.
Oh no, absolutely not. Oh, absolutely not. But the power of suggestion. I'm telling you how bad your Elohim is. Because this ain't really got nothing to do with them. This is not a lesson even about them, because all they did was follow suit and did what they was told to do. But the power of your Elohim, he was so powerful that he fixed it where our eyes, we couldn't even see it.
Yeah, he did.
And guess what? 1 + 1 = 2 now. It ain't no other way to put it. Ain't no way to paint over it. You can't cover it. And even though Charleston Heston, he played the hell out of that part, he was not the right one.
Nope, he certainly wasn't. And another thing that they... Go ahead, sis.
Nope.
I'm finished. Go ahead. You go ahead. I'm done.
2 things. They made sure that we didn't get any look at the color pictures of the pyramids until late.
Right.
We had no idea.
No idea.
And then another thing was that Richard Pryor did a skit that he was with some white archaeologists.
Yeah.
And he went into a pyramid and saw all the black folk that was on the wall. And he said, "What? Black people?" Well, guess what? The archaeologists heard him because they were going to go. He was going to go back and tell everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And they locked them in that tomb, sealed them in there because they didn't want that stuff out. Yep.
What?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, my
Didn't
God.
want them in there.
Oh, my goodness. Well, how he get out? They finally let him out, I'm sure.
No, they entombed him there. They left him there because all the pictures that he saw, it proved that the Egyptians were black people, and that the Egyptians had the technology, they had the writing, medicine, science, all of that stuff. And if it was to get out who were the progenitors of knowledge is, then it would turn the Western world upside down, the white Western world.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So he's right. He's
so
right.
Who was
that was on
the tomb?
I think I had somebody ask you a question. Say that again, sis.
Oh, I can hear him.
So who was locked in the tomb?
Richard Pryor's character was locked in the tomb.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
He's right. He is right. That was on a very, very short, hard to find episode of the Richard Pryor show in the late 60s, early 70s. I remember that skit. I was very young at that time, but I remember that. Something like that you don't forget.
No, you don't.
See, this is verifiable proof. Exodus 2:10 said that he became her son.
You had to look like him.
His name Moshe because she drew him out of the water. Go ahead, brother.
I said he had to be able to look like him to pass, because if he was a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed child, Pharaoh would have taken him out because he would have been a threat to the throne. That's why if you look at that. That's why if you look at over there now in England, they gave Harry and Meghan a hard time because here it is, Harry messing with this woman. He gets pregnant by her. I mean, she gets pregnant by him, and there you go. The possibility that child could sit on the throne.
Yeah, he could come out dark-skinned for sure, because it's in her genealogy. That's in her genes. Yes, sir. Those is family traits. You know what I'm saying? Skin color is family traits.
Yeah, so you know the people, they'd be like, oh, we can't have this.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know you better come on. We can't. We know, absolutely not. I heard one of the British girls on the interview. She was one of the black British girls. She said the British family is the whitest of the whitest. You know, but it's like, whoa.
Well, you see what happened to Diana when she was messing with that Egyptian.
Yeah.
They killed her for it. They killed her for it.
Well, you know,
even though Meghan Markle, her father is white, she would be considered white, but because she got the skin tone from her mother.
Yeah.
You know, there you go.
Well, so let me move on. Here we go. Watch this. Did he look like this? Could he have looked like this?
Yeah.
He could have.
He really pretty much could have.
And should have.
And would have. And would have, sis. And could have and should have. Yes, he did.
He reminds me of, that picture reminds me of a cousin, Penny.
See, I'm just saying, you know what? He looked like one of my family. Well, guess what? Newsflash, he is one of your family members.
Right.
He is family. Because it stands to reason if one of the tribes was black, and the tribe means that he's from one of the sons of the 12 boys that were born to Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, and then those people became the children of Israel, then if that's the case, if one of them was black, they all was black.
Mm-hmm.
Could have looked like that.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Let me tell you what our kids won't never see this in a movie.
Mm-mm.
They won't. They'll never see this. You know what they're going to see? They're going to see this.
And they won't learn it because of the critical race theory issue now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They ain't going to never see what we just saw. They're going to see that.
Right.
Y'all got to remember, Michael Jackson did a video called Remember the Time.
Yeah.
And you had Black Pharaoh, played by Eddie Murphy, and you had Black Queen Nefertiti, I think, played by Iman. Mm-hmm. And all the guards, all the females were black. There was not one white person there. The whitest one was there was Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, they'll never see this. And this is what's being promoted. And this is what's being done. Why is this being done? To promote the fact and to keep the secret going. The prophets. Let's do the prophets. We ain't going to be on here long. I'm almost done. Every one of the prophets is a Hebrew Israelite. I've been telling y'all this for the longest. I've been saying this for the longest. I'm going to show you today. Every prophet. Here we go. Here are all the prophets of the Old Testament. We got Jonah, and we got Nahum, and we got Obadiah, and we got Hosea, we got Amos, and we got Isaiah, we got Jeremiah, we got Joel, Micah, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Haggai, Zachariah, and Malachi. Every last one of them was a Hebrew Israelite from the 12 tribes of Jacob. Let's see. Jonah, here we go. Jonah was no stranger to Yah's call when Yah spoke to him and sent him to Nineveh. Jonah was a prophet to the king of Israel, Jeroboam II. Historians place Jonah as king near 750 BC. This coincides with one of the periods of the Assyrian decline mentioned in the last week's post. Jonah's home of origin was Gath-Hepher, also gives us a clue about his lineage. Gath-Hepher was a town in the region that was given to the tribe of Zebulun during the conquest. It is very likely then that Jonah was of the tribe of Zebulun. Keep moving. Here we go. That's what they got Jonah looking like in the book. When you Googling. That's what he got. Yeah, they got him white. So when our kids look at it, what are they going to think again?
Yep.
But when the other people's children look at it, what are they going to think?
Yep.
These are our family members. This is our people. These were our people. But guess what? They've taken our family album, our history book, and they've changed the characters. They've changed the family traits. They've changed the characteristics, the eye color, the hair color. Remember I told you that in the beginning. The eye color, the hair color, the skin color, everything's been changed. Keep going. Nahum preached during the reign of King Manasseh, one of the most evil kings in Yehudah's long history, a man who needed the pain of his own experience to teach him the lessons of being a good king. Watch. He was a very nationalistic Hebrew, however, and lived among the Echoshites in peace. Nahum, the Echoshite, is the seventh in order of the minor prophets. The only mention in Scripture of Nahum, the Echosshite, occurs in the first verses of his conquering the northern kingdom of Israel and lording their power over Yehudah. And failed to realize what Nahum reminded the people of Yehudah. That's what they got him looking like. Now, they did put a little color in his arms. And the Echoshite was supposed to be from the land of Yehudah, from the tribe of Yehudah. Obadiah, a man whose sons are enumerated in the genealogy of the tribe of Yehudah. Obadiah, the son of Hananiah, Pelatiah, and Jesiah, the sons of Raphiah, and the sons of Arnan, the sons of Obadiah, the sons of Shechaniah. I guess that's how you pronounce that. That's what they got Obadiah looking like.
He's a little brown.
So Naya said he a little brown. Yeah, but look at his hair.
I was getting ready to say the same thing. Look at his hair.
Look at his hair. Watch. Yes. Hosea was a prophet of the kingdom of Israel. He called on Israel to repent its sins of apostasy and warned of judgment to come from Yah. So Hosea, the son of Beeri, is the first of the minor prophets. Ephenius says that he was of the town of Belimuth in the tribe of Issachar, which is no other in all probability than Belmeon toward the Esdraelon in this tribe. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's what it says. So he's from the tribe of Issachar. Look at what they got him looking like. Do that look like us?
No. No.
We're talking about family traits, characteristics, albums. So it's easy for these people to feel like that they have lorded over us because everything that we see and everything that we've touched and everything that we believed in has been fixed to make it look like them.
Yep. And it's not a racial thing. It's a family thing.
It's a family thing. We're talking about family traits and family characteristics and family albums.
And even if they couldn't trace their lineage or the look exactly to their lineage, it's closer to them than it is to us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is where all of the white privilege comes from.
Mm-hmm.
This was set up by the Most High to do this. I'm trying to help everybody today. You got to understand how deep Yah is and how intricate he is and how far he will go to make sure that his word don't come back. He going to make sure of it. So he made them feel comfortable.
Okay.
Oh, it's okay. Go on and change it. It's okay.
Okay.
Everybody felt comfortable. And guess what? They was comfortable with you, believing that all of the prophets look like them and that the God that you serve look like them. So they was glad to welcome you into Christianity. Come on in. Amos. The prophet Amos lived among a group of shepherds in Tekoa, a small town approximately 10 miles south of Jerusalem. Amos made clear in his writings that he did not come from a family of prophets, nor did he ever consider himself to be one. Though he came from the southern kingdom of Yehudah, Amos delivered his prophecies against the northern kingdom of Israel and the surrounding nations, leading to some resistance from the prideful Israelites. If he came from the southern kingdom of Yehudah, then he had to be from Yehudah. That's what they got Amos looking like. I'm trying to help you.
No shame.
Ain't that something?
You think they're trying to do that Mideastern thing, like instead of us?
Well, this is just one of the pictures that I picked, but there are some that are out there that look a whole lot like them. I tried to find the darkest person I could find, but then most of them look like them. because you know what, and it's really it's something to understand, you guys. They really do believe this stuff.
Yeah.
They do. They believe this.
So
Isaiah.
both sides. So they were. Both sides were blind. I was just thinking both sides were blinded. We were blinded to the truth.
Yes.
And so have they been. Yeah.
They've been blinded from, guess what, from privilege.
Yeah.
That the Most High has allowed them to have. What?
Yep.
Origin and calling. According to the ancient rabbis, Isaiah was a descendant of Yehudah and Tamar, and his father Amos was the brother of King Amaziah. These was Israelites. As has been mentioned, Isaiah, the son of Amos, was a member of the royal family. He made his first public appearance as a divinely inspired prophet. In the year of Uzziah's affliction with leprosy, he ministered to the people for about 90 years during the reign of King Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah. All of them was kings.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what they got him looking like. We almost done, y'all. I'm making my way through. Jeremiah, the prophet Nahum, Zephaniah, Habakkuk, Daniel, and Ezekiel ministered during Jeremiah's lifetime. Only Daniel referred to Jeremiah in Daniel chapter 9, but Jeremiah did not refer to any of them. What? The Zephaniah mentioned in Jeremiah was a priest of the tribe of Levi, not the prophet Zephaniah, who was from the tribe of Yehudah. These are all, for everybody that's listening to me and under the sound of my voice, that's listening outside of the nation of Yehudah and the people that are on this call, every prophet in that Old Testament book was Hebrew Israelites. Every disciple in the New Testament was Hebrew Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them. Watch. That's what they got Jeremiah looking like on TV now. They got a whole program under the Bible collection on YouTube and the story of Jeremiah, and this is who they got him playing as.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how are our kids going to ever identify with their true family members if they always looking at a picture like this? I'm just curious. I'm just asking. Watch. Joel was originally from Yehudah, Judea, and judging from his prominence in his prophecies, was quite possibly a prophet associated with the rituals of either Solomon's or the Second Temple, depending on the date when he lived. Look at how they got Joel looking. All these was black people. Watch it. Micah. Indeed, many of the Jewish leaders and prophets of the Hebrew Bible claim for membership in the tribe of Yehudah. For example, the literary prophets Isaiah, Amos, Habakkuk, Joel, Micah, Obadiah, Zachariah, and Zephaniah all belong to the tribe. To the tribe of what? The tribe of Yehudah. Little was known about the personal life of the prophet Micah. He came from a town called Moresheth and was therefore called Moreshite. He lived during the reign of King Jotham of Yehudah and succeeding kings about 150 years before the destruction of Jerusalem by the Babylonian host. That's what they got him looking like. So, Sister Sanaya, back to my main point when I talked about your album and your family members. If your family members were replaced by these people and you were able to open up your album and see these people under the same name as your family members, what would you think?
Oh, my God. Yeah. It's fraud. It's fraudulent.
It's fraudulent. You'll be like, that ain't Joel. That's not my cousin Joel. That's not my Uncle Obadiah. That ain't what he looked like. Who is these people?
Identity theft.
Hello. All day. It's pure identity theft.
And remember the scripture in 1 Maccabees 3:48, which says they were sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Say that one more time, brother. Say it nice and slow so they can hear you.
Okay. 1 Maccabees 3:48 reads, and laid open the book of the law wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
The heathen has sought to paint the likings of their images over the real people that's in the book. So the family album has been altered, and the identities have been hijacked, and the pictures and the family traits have been changed so that it looks like them. And so then, if that's the case, then can they tell the story?
No. They have.
Have they told it adequately?
No. It's just no. No. They can't interpret that book.
No, ma'am.
They can't interpret our book.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Watch. Here we go. Check Habakkuk, who was active around 612 BC, was a prophet whose oracles and prayers are recorded in the book of Habakkuk, the 8th of the collected 12 minor prophets in the Hebrew Bible. The prophet Habakkuk is generally believed to have written his book in the mid to late 7th century BC, not long before the Babylonian siege and capture of Jerusalem in 586 BC. That's what they got him looking like. Watch. I'm almost done. Zephaniah. The best-known biblical figure bearing the name Zephaniah is the son of Cushi and the great-grandson of King Hezekiah, ninth in the literary order of the 12 minor prophets. So he was from the tribe of Yehudah. He prophesied died in the days of Josiah, ruler of the kingdom of Yehudah, 640 to 609 BC, but before Josiah's reform in 621 BC. That's what they got him looking like.
Wow.
And you would open up your album, Sister Sanaya, that's 5 inches thick, and start scrolling through and say, wait a minute. What's going on? I don't know these people. Who is these people? And they was like, but your name is on the front of the book. It says it's your family history. It's your family album. You'll be like, them ain't none of my family. I don't know these people.
Yep.
What? Ezekiel was a prophet who lived in Babylonia at the time of the destruction of the first temple. Among his more famous prophecies, which were compiled in the book of Ezekiel, are his visions of the divine chariot, the valley of the dry bones, and the third temple. Little is known about Ezekiel's personal life. The son of Buzi, he was apparently a descendant of the priestly family of Zodok. That's what they got him looking like.
So that would make him a Levi, right?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Look how they got the Egyptians, the Israelites looking.
Yeah.
I guess that's supposed to be the valley of the dry bones. I'm not sure. But look at the Israelites. What? Daniel, meaning Jah is my judge, is the hero of the biblical book of Daniel. A noble Jewish youth of Jerusalem, he is taken into captivity by Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon and serves the king and his successor with loyalty and ability until the time of the Persian conqueror Cyrus. Now this is what it says, Daniel 1 and 3. And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, listen, and of the king's seed, and of the princes. That's what they got him looking like. And you know what they'll say? Well, color doesn't matter. Does it, you guys?
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Well, if it didn't matter, why are you supposed to need to change it?
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you're talking about a family of people, you can't change the color.
Nope.
Or else, like she said, it's identity theft.
Yeah.
You can't change the color of a family album and talking about family people. These people that I showed you are connected by family through genealogy and family traits. They blood relatives. So how do you do that? How does that work? It's just a simple lesson. I just wanted to share this with you. Haggai, we almost done. King Cyrus of Persia allowed the Jewish exiles to return to their land in 538 BC. At least 3 waves. Remember we told y'all when we was talking about the second Exodus that it was going to be at least 3 waves? Well, this is how it happened in Babylon when they went back home. At least 3 waves of returnees took advantage of this opportunity. Oh, watch it. The first of these was a group of almost 50,000 Jews that returned under the leadership of Sheshbazzar and Zerubbabel, who placed him in 537 BC, Ezra chapter 1, verse 2 and 4. Another view is that Sheshbazzar was a Chaldean name of Zerubbabel. So they had one group that was 50,000. So that's why when we tell everybody that the ones in America got to go home first, it's going to be the same. What do the Most High do? The same old thing all over again.
Mm-hmm.
what he said about the second group. Ezra led the second wave of 1,700 men plus women and children, perhaps about 5,000 individuals, back to Jerusalem in 458 B.C., and Nehemiah led the third wave of 42,000 Israelites back in 444 B.C. Watch. Haggai and Zechariah appear to have been two of the returnees who accompanied Sheshbazzar, as was Josiah the high priest, though Haggai's name does not appear in the list of returnees in the opening chapter of Ezra. So he's one of the returnees from Babylon. Haggai first sounded the call to resume construction in 520 B.C., and Zechariah soon joined him. Zechariah's ministry lasted longer than Haggai's. The returnees finished the project about 5 years later at 515 B.C. in Ezra chapter 1 through 6. One way to calculate the 70-year captivity is from the first deportation to Babylon in 605 B.C. to the year the temple reconstructed began in 536 B.C. Watch. Another way is to count from the destruction of the temple in 586 BC to the completion of the temple's restoration in 515 BC. But nevertheless, however the way you calculate it, they was there for 70 years. Just like the Most High said. That's how they got him looking. That's how they got Haggai looking. Stolen identity.
Yep.
Yep.
Zechariah was a person in the Hebrew Bible and traditionally considered the author of the book of Zechariah, the 11th of the 12 minor prophets. The book of Zechariah introduces him as the son of Barachiah, of the son of Iddo. The book of Ezra names Zechariah as the son of Iddo in Ezra 5:1 and Ezra 6:14, but it is likely that Barachiah was Zechariah's father, and Iddo was his grandfather. His prophetical career possibly began in the second year of Darius the Great, king of the Achaemenid Empire. His greatest concern appeared to have been the building of the second temple. That's how they got him looking. So, Sister Sanaya, if you were to open up your family album and this would be the picture of him, what would you say?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know him.
You know, I don't know him. Who is that?
Who is this person? Yeah.
This is a whole other person. This is my last one. Malachi is known of the biography of the author of the book of Malachi, although it has been suggested that he may have been Levitical. The book of Zechariah and Haggai were written during the lifetime of Ezra. See Ezra 5:1. Perhaps this may explain the similarities in style. That's how they got Malachi looking. So again, this is talking about family history, family traits, genealogy, characteristics, and all of the things that we see today. These are the things that the Most High has allowed to be put in place to deceive and to keep you in the dark as to who you are. Now that our eyes have been opened, and we know that when we open up that book, when we turn those pages, those words in that page become alive, because what we're doing is we're looking at our family history. We're tracing our family traits. We're tracing our family genealogies, and we're understanding who the people are in the book. Excuse me. So when he opens up our eyes to understand that is one of the most important things that we understand about that book. That book is about us.
That's our book.
That's our family album. That's our family history. That's our family lineage. That's our family genealogies. That's our family story. That's our family traits. All of this is about our family.
And that's our Elohim.
Absolutely.
The blueprint of Israel.
Absolutely. And the book becomes alive.
Yes.
And some people are like, well, what difference does it make then? I mean, color doesn't make a difference. It makes every bit of a difference when you are changing the identity of people's nationality.
Yes, that's right.
And look what they did to Yeshua.
Oh, I'm on my way there. You best believe I'm on my way there.
Okay, take it away.
It makes every difference when you change the picture of a person's nationality because the whole story changes.
Okay.
And we look and we watch and we read and we felt privileged to be a part of something that was ours in the first place.
Right. And we were asked to join in.
Well, yeah, right, like we were invited to join in. Be privileged. Oh, don't you just love Jesus? He's just a wonderful Savior. Come on in. No. These are our family members.
They told us we were adopted into the royal family.
Oh, my goodness. We were adopted into the royal family. We were the royal.
We were the royal family, exactly.
We are the royal family.
Okay.
We are them. New Testament. Is Jesus white? Oh, I got to put you on pause for this one because I got to play a video. Let me stop this right. Let me pause this right now. Hold on just a minute because we're going to come back to this. We got to touch this today. And I'm going to ask you a question, and I just want you to tell me something when I ask this question. Hold on. Let me get to the video. I'm here. Woo, all praises be to the Most High, y'all. We're going to play this for just a moment. Let me put this on here. And we're going to resume screen sharing. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Here we go. Just pay attention. If you can't see it, just listen to it. And the name of the video is Jesus and Santa Are White. And this was something that Megyn Kelly did on Fox News. Check it out. Just listen to it. It's on YouTube, so you can pull it up when you want to. Watch.
Segment on Christmas. She's going to bring Santa into it. She's going to bring race into it. Fascinating. Let's watch.
In Slate, they have a piece on .com. Santa Claus should not be a white man anymore. And when I saw this headline, I kind of laughed, and I thought, this is so ridiculous. Yet another person claiming it's racist to have a white Santa. You know, and by the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white, but this person is just arguing that maybe we should also have a black Santa. But, you know, Santa is what he is, and just so you know, we're just debating this because someone wrote about it, kids. Okay, I wanted to get that straight.
Oh, Santa's white, is he? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, Santa's, of course, based on St. Nicholas. St. Nicholas is from modern-day Turkey. Interesting. I'm glad to think Fox News thinks that Turks are white. Thank you. And you might think that, right? Now, of course, he wasn't Turkish. He was Greek at the time. And for all time, really. And what happened was the Dutch took it and made a bunch of stories about it. And a lot of that happened in the U.S., people of Dutch origin. And also, St. Nicholas was the most popular saint in Europe for a long time, especially in Holland. And so the Dutch started calling him Sinterklaas. It's kind of fun. We can go back to that. Sinterklaas is coming. And they had all these stories about reindeer and a jolly elf wearing a red suit, right? And part of the reason we have this tradition is because the original St. Nicholas was a fascinating guy. One of the stories is that if you left your shoes out, he'd leave money in them. He came from a wealthy family, and the main thing he did, eventually he became the patron saint of sailors, children, and other categories as well, merchants. He saved 3 girls who were going to be sold off into slavery and prostitution by their dad. Classy dad. Okay, he gave their dowry so that they could be saved. But originally, the main thing he did was look out for the poor, and that's why he leave money for you in your shoes. And the Dutch thought this was a lovely tradition, and in the 1800s, especially here in America, we began to tell stories about it, and then eventually, of course, turned it into advertising. Thomas Nast had the drawing of Santa Claus that you might remember now, so it went from Sinterklaas to Santa Claus in the American version as our American capitalists got into it, right? And they did for, of course, stores that wanted to sell more products, and for magazines that wanted to sell more products. And now what you see here, of course, is a picture of the actual Santa Claus, who doesn't quite look white on the right, and then the Santa Claus that he wound up becoming. So St. Nicholas, that's from an old Eastern Orthodox church drawing. Now,
so what was wrong with that picture? Did you guys see the picture?
No, we couldn't see it.
I don't see Jesus Christ.
Hold on, let me make sure that you can see the screen, because I want to make sure that you see that. Hold on, Jesus and Santa. Hold on, I got to show you the picture. And then I'm going to go back to the picture. There's the picture. Can you see the picture now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
What's wrong with the picture? I just want to know. What's wrong with the picture?
Everything.
Don't match.
The picture don't match, do it? I'm going to keep playing this. This is so good because it's so simple that now that we can see it and our eyes are open, we're like, wait a minute. So now for you all who are on here that are family members of some of these people, you're going to find out now why we don't celebrate Christmas. All this is wrapped in together. Watch. Just listen. Watch.
Santa Claus that he wound up becoming. So St. Nicholas, that's from an old Eastern Orthodox church drawing. Now, we don't have an actual picture of St. Nicholas, and there's many different pictures of St. Nicholas, where he looks largely Mediterranean. In that picture, he just looked particularly black, right? But likely he wasn't black or white, he was Mediterranean. Whatever you might think is Mediterranean, whether you consider that white or not. But I love the fact that Megyn Kelly's like, no, kids at home, remember, Santa's white. Don't let the liberals tell you otherwise. Now, of course, we're also leaving out the fact that Santa Claus doesn't exist. It's a tiny little fact that we left out there, okay? But in Fox News world, kids, he exists, and he's white. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Now, of course, the idea that he could come from some pagan tradition, and of course, the Christians took on the traditions of Saturnalia and other holidays around the winter solstice, is an absolute injustice that Fox News cannot stomach. We've done many stories about that. But what's interesting is it is said that it is, quote, it is impossible to separate Christmas from its pagan origins. Well, what kind of liberal organization said that? Oh, yeah, the U.S. Catholic. That's interesting. All right, but let's go back to Megyn Kelly because she's going to insist.
What did he say about Christmas? He said it's impossible to separate Christmas from its pagan origin.
Right.
For you all that are on this line that have never heard this before, that's why the Hebrew Israelites don't celebrate Christmas. Exactly why. Again, the family album has been stolen. The traditions and the traits and the characteristics of the family has been stolen. And as a result of that, they have put Christmas as the Messiah's birthday, and it has nothing to do with that. It's a pagan holiday that they have put in place for the merchants to be able to do what they do. That is why we don't celebrate Christmas. But moving on, we're going to go back to the family. Let me go back to the family album because I got to stay with the album over here because this is important. Here we go. Check it out.
But let's go back to Megyn Kelly because she's going to insist that not only is Santa white, another figure is white. Let's watch.
Just because it makes you feel uncomfortable doesn't mean it has to change. Jesus was a white man too, but it's like he was a historical figure. I mean, that's a verifiable fact, as is Santa. I just want the kids watching to know that. Yeah. But my point is, how do you just revise it, you know, in the middle of the legacy of the story and change Santa from white to black?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. You know, you can't take facts and then try to change them to fit some sort of a political agenda or a sensitivity agenda.
Now, what is fact?
Yeah.
Please somebody tell me what's fact.
See, they said facts without saying what the facts were. Don't you love that?
Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you something. I want to ask you $1 million question. I want everybody to think about it before you answer. I really do. I don't want you to just blurt anything out. I want you to think about it before you answer. Give it at least 15 seconds to think about it before you answer. This is the question. Is Jesus white?
No.
I said give it 15 seconds. Give it 15 seconds.
Yes.
Think about it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. He sure is black.
Yeah, Jesus is white, ain't he? Jesus is white. Now, my next question is this. My next question is this. Is Yehoshua white?
No.
No.
No, wait. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Jesus is right, and so is Santa.
It's a lie in plain sight. It's hiding it in plain sight.
Take a look at their faces. They don't believe what you're saying. Take a look at their faces.
But just to be clear, is Jesus white?
Yeah, Jesus is.
Yes, he is.
Their depiction of Jesus is definitely white.
And he's white. He's white. And his name ain't Jesus. So, yeah, Jesus.
But now listen now. But when we open up the album, the family album, the history book, where the family traits are and the characteristics are, and all of the information that we have in there, is Yehoshua white?
No.
Another example of stolen identity.
But it's in the Bible letting us know what the color of our Creator is. Black with feet like burnt brass, hair like wool. It has nothing to do with, what's his name, that Michelangelo's lover. That's who the so-called Jesus is. He's not black. He was a Pope's son. He was also the Pope's son. We know our Savior, our Creator, our Yeshua is the son of our living Elohim. And that's clear, even in the Bible. So all that she's trying to say, or anybody else for that matter, that means they don't really read and understand the word of Yah, because they don't know Yah, number one. So they have no proof. She can talk about history, she can talk about anything, but she's not speaking truth. And we have enough artists today. We have enough black people that make and create and write scripts and movies that they can put out the real deal so that the generation to follow, if there's any, because the way how the world's going, I don't know about that. But anyway, they can put out the real deal, the real color and history of our people. And we who are here now, we can tell our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, keep talking to them and teaching them, because we cannot leave education up to our enemies. It doesn't work. We've had enough time in history to see that all it does is damage us. And it's time for us who are awake to help the generation that's coming up. That's how I view this thing. We have some wonderful artists, black artists that are, very, very good. They can make paintings, they can make books, and we can buy those books for those of us who have younger family members coming up. That's how I feel about this.
Very well put. Now, listen, I want you to just hear it again. We're going to play it again. I want you to hear again how adamant they are about this, how proud, how factual they are about this. And watch what they, listen what they say. Here we go.
And then try to change them to fit some sort of a political agenda or a sensitivity agenda.
You can't change the color of Jesus or Santa to fit your agenda, said Fox News. Now, Jesus is white, everybody. You remember that, all right? Blonde, blue-eyed, white. They didn't say blonde and blue-eyed, to be fair. But let me show you the real men of Bethlehem. Interesting. So that's a depiction of men from the literal town of Bethlehem, where Jesus came from. Now, if you're insisting they're white, it's a curious thing to insist upon, right? Yeah, you can think they're white, and look, that's an open question as to people from the Middle East, what they really are. We have a word for it. It's Arab. Okay. Like heart attacks all over Fox News land. Jesus is an Arab? Now, of course, he was a Jewish carpenter, right? Jewish Arabs, they're Semites. They're from the same region. They're from the same race. And so, okay, if you want to insist that they're white, but it's a curious thing to insist. If you insisted he was Middle Eastern, you insisted that he was, Santa was Mediterranean, that would make more sense. Now, let me show you again. Now, this will be an actual picture of a guy from Bethlehem next to Fox News' version of Jesus. On the left, we have the Fox News version. On the right-hand side, we have an actual dude from Bethlehem, which is probably what Jesus looked like. Not specifically that gentleman, but certainly that tone. Now, little known fact, Fox News also insists that the Easter Bunny is white. Kids at home, the Easter Bunny is white. Fox News version on the left, the real Easter Bunny on the right, also, interestingly, brown skin. Now, if you want to know what a guy from Santa Claus's particular region might look like, well, I actually know a guy from a very nearby area in Turkey. The town that St. Nicholas is from is Demre. He looks like this. Oh, yeah. Right now, heads exploding at Fox News.
All right. So what do you think, people? Feedback.
He wasn't on point.
He wasn't.
Some of them are Israelites. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot that happened. A lot of mixing that went on. But
yes, absolutely. Now let's go back to the presentation, because I want to show you something, because this is so simple that a fool wouldn't even be able to air. It wouldn't be able to. Hold on just one moment. I'm going to bring it back up so you can see it. And the question is again, excuse me, is Jesus white? And we said, yes, he is. Why? Because these are the pictures that we were given. Can you see the screen?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Sometime he had brown hair, and he had blue eyes, and he had a brown, but he was the color and the depiction of a Caucasian man. There's another picture of him in the movie. So, when we, and let me lay the groundwork for this. When we tell you that we're living in the land of our captivity, among our enemies, and that we cannot worship the God of Christianity, it's because of this. Now, my next question is, knowing all that we just talked about today, is it just a matter of switching pictures that would make it legitimate?
Let's see.
No.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't be a matter of switching pictures. Somebody said, okay, we'll just make him black. Then it's no big deal. And we'll believe he's black, and they'll believe he's white. And as long as we all come together under the same umbrella and we worship the same contact, we will be okay. No, there's more to that. Let me show you why. And I'm getting ready to take you to a scripture that the Israelites recite all the time that will let you know why we can't just switch the picture. You know why? Because the album has been changed. The identity of the family members have been changed, and all of the information leading to the family members have been changed. Who changed it? Who was the originator of the change?
Most High. Was
it was Yah.
Oh. The Most High, yes.
It was the Most High. And I'm going to show you why. Here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. It says, and the Most High shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve the same God, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even of wood or stone. Is that what it say?
Yes.
No, that's not what it say.
Other gods.
And the Most, listen to what I'm saying and read the scripture. And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, not the same God.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you the question again. Can you just switch the picture?
No.
No. It's never a matter of just switching the picture and making it say what you want it to say. Because here, we're not even serving Yah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this is so deep. That's why this is something that has to be understood. It's not just enough to know you're an Israelite. Okay, so we know we're Israelites. We're just Christian Israelites. No, you're not. You got to be a Hebrew Israelite. And once you become a Hebrew Israelite, you can't walk into those same establishments and thinking you're serving the same Elohim just because they use in the book. Read it again. Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou, nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what that means? When I hear that, you know what, when I think of that, what I think of when it says, nor thy fathers have known even wood and stone, it means all the prophets that you just read to us and all their depictions, anyway, the prophets that we read in the book, they didn't know these gods that we're serving today.
No! No!
And it's not just here, it's anywhere in the world where you
end up
as an Israelite.
Come on, sis. Come on. You know you guys is on point today. This is deeper than anything you can imagine. That's why we can't allow the Christian neo-culture of the Israelites to take form. No, we're not going to accept it, and no, we're not going to allow it, because you're not going to take something that it means something to us. You're not going to take our family album in there and make it be what you want it to be. Absolutely not. This is bigger than anything you can imagine. Daniel wouldn't even know what we was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Ezekiel would come around like, who is there? What is this?
Yep.
Not enough.
Destroy all his father's idols, you know.
Yes. It's not enough to switch pictures. Well, just make him black then if that's what you want him to be. No, sweetheart, that ain't how it goes. Because you're telling our family story from a perspective that is not fact.
Mm-hmm.
Not. Watch, I got a few more and I'm almost done. Deuteronomy 4:26. Listen what it says. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish from off the land whereunto ye go over Jordan to possess it. Ye shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed. And the Most High shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Most High shall lead you. So who scattered us?
Most High.
Our Elohim scattered us. Well, watch what he says. And there ye shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. Watch what he says. But if from this, he said, if when you get there, thou shalt seek the Most High thy Elohim, thou shalt find him. If thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. All these crosses these people is wearing on their neck means absolutely nothing. All these songs these people is singing in the church, the blood still works. Oh, nothing but the blood. All it means absolutely nothing. We are not serving the Elohim that we read about because the album has been replaced with individuals that are not the right people. The characteristics of the people that are being depicted in the album today, in the family album, is not the real people. Not the real people. And we're all here. And this is my last scripture. Deuteronomy 28:36. All of us are here. And the Most High shall bring thee and thy king, so the royal family is here too, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there thou shalt serve other gods of wood and stone. And there shalt thou serve other gods of wood and stone. So what does that tell us today? With all of the information that we've received, what does that tell us today about the system that we're in, about the services, about the religions, about the everything that we're doing? What does that tell us today?
We have lived a big life.
The prophecy has been fulfilled just as the Most High said it would be. And we are, what he said, scattered in the land of our captivity amongst our enemies, worshiping the gods that they told us, that they portrayed for us to worship. But it's not the Elohim of our book, our photo album, or family album, I should say.
And we can't find our Elohim in their institutions, nor can they teach us about him.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So we've been serving the devil then in the churches.
Absolutely so. I know that's hard to take, sis. But you know what? The last time I told one of my family members that, she got mad at me. I mean, she was mad at me. And I told her that's not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's not him. That's not him.
They have given us their God and put their God in our family album.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And erased our album to depict the people that they wanted us to see. And you know how we are about pictures. You know, everybody got their own characteristics. Different people stand a certain way and they smile at you a certain way. You got them dressed certain ways. And we take pictures of our families And we put them in our albums because this is how we relate to our children that are coming up, that our family members that have died before they were born. This is great-grandmama Essie, and this is great-grandmama Lisa, and this is great-granddaddy Albert, and this is great-great-granddaddy Leroy. These are all your people, and this is how you became who you are today. So every time they stand up over that pulpit and they go in them scriptures, whether it be a black church or a white church or whomever church, you got to look at it as suspect and say, no, I ain't going to be able to do that one, because until you put the right people in the right place and display the right people under the right circumstances, the story has been hijacked. God.
Yeah, we are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. So now we gain the understanding, we do what is right.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. And I knew that was going to get y'all when I asked you, is Jesus white? He ain't white all day. All day. And everybody's okay with that. Because guess what? If you say that to an average black person, they'd be like, well, if you want him to be black, just have a black picture in your house, and that's the same. But the blood still works, honey. Don't talk about Jesus, because we can't have you messing with Jesus. Okay? I'm telling you what I know. But you're serving another God. That's not the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's not the Elohim of the Bible that we know him to be. Not. And
well, who did the dragon give his power to?
Say again?
Who did the dragon give his power to?
The devil. He gave it to the devil. Yes, he did.
No, the dragon. The dragon. Who did the dragon?
Oh, yeah, he gave it to those people of the land. He gave it to those people. He sure did.
He gave it to the beast. And the beast came up with this concept about Jesus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He sure did. So now you know why it's a difference to know who you are. Now you know why the importance of it is to know who you are. Like the girl told me, okay, well, you can be an Israelite, but you get salvation from the church. I think not. I think not.
What sense does that make?
Exactly. I think not. And that's why the veil has to be taken off your eyes. But not only just our eyes, because guess what? They've been given a story too. And they have believed it, and it was necessary for them to believe it because they had to stay on the top. But now the Most High is opening up everybody's eyes, and they're starting to talk about it. Well, wait a minute now. This stuff is making sense. These people making a whole lot of sense. Wait a minute. Let me see what these people is talking about. Because the version of the story you've been given for the last 100 and 200 years, it's another version of the story. There's prophecies that still haven't been fulfilled. And I'm going to close at this, and this is what we always say, is that the version of the story that we've been taught is that once it's over for the Gentile, it is over for everybody. The world comes to an end. That is not the way the story is told. And we'd like to thank you all for joining us on our session We're going to cut off the recording, but you guys can still hang around. But I appreciate you guys listening. And if you have any questions at all or whatsoever, you'd like to join us, email us at the Yehudah Project at gmail.com, and Yehudah spelled Yehudah. And we thank you so much for joining us this evening, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sabbath.